And we're back, and this is the 11 o'clock hour, and it's time for the GOAT. For the greatest of all time, none other than Mr. Mike Gallagher. Yes, sir. Mikey G. Boy, people have been waiting since Saturday. When's Mike on? When's Mike on? I said, well, don't worry. He's got 2 or 3 this week.
And you can always come down and talk to me.
You've got your fan club out
Yeah.
here in the audience.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear it
people.
from the fan club. Yay.
Thank you.
Mike just had a birthday too, right, Mike?
That's right, 29 again, Joe. And just like Joe told me, keeps getting better with age.
Keeps getting better with age.
Just like a fine wine.
Just like a fine organic wine.
Organic wine. That's
okay.
right. That's right.
Well, Mike's got a brand new presentation for you today, everybody, and you're going to love this because he's going to give you the blueprint, all right, to your healthy life. Pay close attention and listen to the great one, Mike Gallagher. Take it away, G.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. I should bring you around everywhere I go with that introduction, huh? Okay, guys, I will be discussing today a really simple, easy rejuvenation program, okay? And the first thing that I wanted to really discuss is this new patient program that we just came out with. So this is right on our website. I'm going to walk you through this. And now we do have hard copies. These are free with any purchase today, this whole week, in fact. But this is something that we put together, and it's really trying to design a program versus a pill. And that's the key that we're trying to do here. And we're going to try to jumpstart your health on a multitude of different ways. But I just went right off the website, nutritionalfrontiers.com, and you just click right on the education tab, which is where I'm at right now. And then you just click on the patient program, and then that takes you through this, okay? So this is a lot of the things and concepts that we've discussed in the last several years. But now this is putting it together in where detox really comes into fruition, okay? So we want to always kind of give it a time frame on this. And again, 120 days to a better you is the key. Reset, remove, rebuild, recharge, okay? So I'm just going to walk you through the first part of it, and then we can get into detail regarding the actual program itself and the formulas and where they fit in and how we look at this. Okay, so every chapter is designed to be basically a homework assignment. All right, so we want you to read through it. And again, folks, you can just send this to anywhere off the website, as far as an email. But again, the hard copy is available here. So first chapter, reset. Second chapter, remove. Third chapter, rebuild. Fourth chapter, recharge. So we're going to focus on the first 2 chapters today, okay? So Dr. Tracy and Jamie Dorley have really spent a lot of time working on this, as well as the whole team. So we really salute them on this. So this is the basic foundation. Let me back up a second. So we talk about this all the time, but it's critically important if you really are trying to change your health, okay? So nutrition, and again, we can't make it any simpler. If it falls from a tree, grows from the ground, runs in the field, swims in the water, or flies in the sky, organic and non-GMO, eat it. If it's not any of those, don't. You can't make it any simpler, okay? Hydration, drinking plenty of clean water, very important. Movement, exercising. Our bodies were meant to move. Sleep, critically important to heal. And if you're having challenges right there, we have sleep time, we have melatonin, we have some excellent formulas that can help on the sleep. Elimination, and we'll talk a little bit more in detail about this, but we want you to have at least 1 bowel movement a day. If you're not, we need to fix that. It's critically important. Should be having at least 1 a day. And then finally, the emotional side, very, very important. Again, not many people discuss that, but very important. So this is the basics. This is the foundation. It's all right here in this free magazine, okay? We have some questionnaires here as well. These can be very helpful for the staff here. Any of the doctors, Dr. Orbach, Dr. Phil, or Jeff Niznik. Again, these are the kind of things that we would like to see as far as what you are taking medication wise, as far as your personal information, what supplements are you using currently, where are you buying them at, and not all supplements are the same. We've always tried to preach that. Also, critically important, what your food is of these different categories and how much are you eating them, right? Activity, what your activity is like, exercising. Again, stress and sleep. If you're stressed, very difficult to heal, just like sleep. Again, we have formulas that can help with that, such as Calm Day, CBD, things like all this, as well as the sleep. Okay, then we go a little bit further, here. Let's keep scrolling down. Great Pyramid of Health, we call it. Okay, so you can interpret this a few different ways. How I interpreted this is if you have a specific condition, if you're in pain, if you have brain issues, if whatever the case might be, GI problems, sleep issues, right? Let's focus on that first. Let's help you with that. And again, we can make some general recommendations and suggestions. But then what? The then what is the rest of the story here, okay? So that's everything else. So just like an iceberg, you just see that tip of the iceberg floating above the water, but the majority of it is the other side, is below the water for an iceberg. For your health, that's the rest of the story here. So there's the foundation as your base, and then we can categorize each one of these things: probiotics, digestive enzymes, different options there, macro and micronutrients. Again, this is where vitamins fit in shakes, good fats, right? And then phytonutrients, fruit and vegetables. And if you're struggling with that, we have the different colors there as well. So we don't expect you to do all of these different things, although we do have people who do. But here's the interesting thing, quick tip. If you do the power cleanse in the greens, it covers every one of these topics, every one of these categories. And that's also our focus for today for detoxing, is the power cleanse in the greens. So just keep that in mind. Now, again, we can break them individually. There's a little description of each one of those categories, but that truly to help, that is really the focus, what we're trying to do. Okay, then we get into even more data points here. We call it SMART goals. SMART goals, right? Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. So again, some more data that we like to collect from you right here, bottom left. We go back up to the top right. Again, what a typical daily menu is. What are you eating consistently day in, day out? It's always good to see this. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, snacks, cravings. Again, very important information for the staff here to know about. And then how much water are you drinking, right? So you can tell people what to drink, but how much are you actually doing? And by the way, when you put it on paper, a lot more people are honest about what they eat when they write it down versus tell you face to face. That's another important aspect there as well. And then activity. Okay, so these are all cornerstones of that foundation that we're talking about today. All right, so how do we incorporate into your normal routine? So we're just using the power cleanse and the greens as example, and fish oil. Again, any type of one of our powders, it takes the place of a meal. So breakfast and fantastic. We always suggest that because most people's breakfasts are not that healthy, very carb driven, very sugar driven, or lunch, right? Those are the two best times, but you can have the power cleanse in this example or any of the shakes any time of the day as a healthy meal in itself. Okay. So again, just an example, you can plug in any supplement, any formula you want in there. Okay. So let me back up a sec here. Went through. All right. Finally, in this chapter, okay, nutrition suggestions right here, okay, things that we want to try to increase, and then things we want to try to eliminate right here, right? Basic tips, basic suggestions. Do your best, folks. The more we can focus on these and follow these, the better results you're going to get. So then once we do that chapter, by the way, that's the longest chapter in this book. It's probably the hardest because we're trying to turn around eating habits and lifestyle. Very challenging, but we're trying to guide you through this. So again, that's the first chapter as we go through this. Then we get into the next chapter, remove. So the remove then is what our focus is today, is focusing on cleanses, detoxification. So I know a lot of people listening understand the benefits of it, but for those who are new, we just want to explain it, the why. We live in a very toxic world, obviously overwhelmed by all the different things in our air, in our water, in medications, in our food, in fabrics, plastics, hygiene things, perfumes, on and on and on, cosmetics. All of these things are toxic, folks. So if you have never done the cleanse, okay, what are you waiting for, right? All these things are extremely important. Just your liver is bombarded with these things. So we're trying to gradually eliminate these from your system because they get accumulated, they get stored. And we can walk out right now to the parking lot and get hit with car fumes as cars are driving down the street. And maybe that one time won't affect us. But over time, like I said, it accumulates and can have a huge impact on our health. So we talk about the why, the when. Again, very important. And we'll talk about the different ways that we can cleanse here in a second and how do we do it. And again, the power cleanse would be ideal as a shake, as a meal replacement. Then we get into the different types of cleanses. So we have whole body, we have environmental, we have emotional. All of them are important. All of them have their benefits. And again, ways to naturally relax, very important, as we talked about on the stress side and the sleep side. So prayer, light therapy, music, walking, massage, counseling, on and on. And again, we have several nutritional formulas that can help with that. Okay. So one of my favorite questionnaires, if we go to the next page here, is the toxicity test. Okay. This questionnaire answers the $1 million question. How toxic are you? Okay, because we can tell you you're toxic and you might believe us, or you can fill out this questionnaire and this will tell you in just a few minutes of how toxic it really is. Okay, so the way we phrase this is in the past 30 days.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm
Hold on, a little technical here.
Oh, yeah, I see what you did. You opened it in a new tab.
Okay. That's fine. Okay.
Okay, you're good.
Okay, so make sure we're on. Okay, so for those who just seen this now for the first time, let me just kind of back up a second here. So this is the magazine patient program for 2022 and for life. So we're just going through all the different first chapter, all the things to reset, the foundation of health, all the benefits, some questionnaires, right, that we just were talking about, the Great Pyramid of Health, right? So now people can see what we're discussing, some more information from you, how to plug it into a normal routine, right? Dietary suggestions. And now that takes us to the next chapter, remove chapter, okay? So now we get to the detox component of it, the benefits of it, why it's important, and the different types of cleanses. All right, so that takes us to finally where we just left off. This is on page 17 and 18 for those who have the booklet there. So the toxicity test, again, answers the $1 million question, how toxic you are. I always say in the past 30 days, rank your symptoms from 0 to 4. So we start on right here with headaches, right? Faintness, dizziness, insomnia. Rank your symptoms 0 to 4. Put your subtotal here, and we just go from head to toe. And down at the bottom, we put the total. Okay, so grand total is here at the bottom. then on the opposite page, this is a tolerability test. We call it TT. So these are yes or no questions. Do you guys need one? All right. So these are yes or no questions. And for every yes, you get a point. All right. And then you put down the total for each. All right. So the front side would be right here. Bottom side is right, or the other side is right here, TT. And then we have a little answer key. So we always go by whichever score is highest. If you're above 50 on the front or above 10 on the back or on the other left-hand side or TT on the right-hand side, you're very toxic, okay? And a lot of people fall into this category and have no idea. And we've seen people in the triple digits, and typically fibromyalgia and things like this, chronic fatigue, typically score in the triple digits on the front side. If you fall in the middle ranges, whichever one scores highest, all right, again, you're still toxic, all right, and then we will talk about how we would dose this. And then if you fall in the bottom ranges, typically this is where you're going to be the healthiest if you fall in the bottom range. There's still some toxicity? Yes. So we can still help. So it's just giving us a number. Like any test, this is your starting point, okay? But this is an eye-opener for a lot of people when they see this for the first time, right? It puts a numerical value on it. Then if we do any of the formulas, and we'll talk about those next, then we repeat this test and we compare the scores. So say you scored a 50 on the initial test, okay? On the front side, on the left-hand side there, right? You do any of this program, and 30 days later we retest and you're down to a 25. Well, that's 50% improvement in symptoms, right? So now we are able to track your progress as well, just like any test, but this one is free, doesn't cost anything. But this is valuable information for us because now, rather than you lost 10 pounds, rather than you feel great, rather than your headaches are gone, on and on. Now we actually can help with all of your symptoms. We can actually see all the amazing things that this can do. But if you never fill this out first, before you do a detox cleanse, then we have no way to track it. So it's really, really important to fill this out and then hold on to it and then fill it out again whenever you finish the program. Does that make sense for everybody? Okay. So that's how we look at this. Now, also determines the dosage that we're going to be talking about here in a minute here as well, okay? Now, we go to the next 2 pages here. Now we have specific targeted cleanses. So the one that we're focusing on today, whole body, is looking at Power Cleanse, the Proline Greens, and Live Complete. We now have put it in a kit called the Clean and Lean Kit. Used to be called the Remove Kit, right? Same thing. So if you can do all 3, which will give you the fastest, quickest results, we put it all together for you. We do have other types of cleanses. We have a Candida cleanse, which is using Candy Kill and SBC and GI Complete. We have a parasite cleanse, Paracleanse, microgon tincture, superbiotics are some ways that we can help with that. And then we have a hormonal cleanse. Let me skip ahead there. The hormonal cleanse is focusing on, for females, any type of hormonal issue or irregularity, from PMS to menopause, from hot flashes, night sweats. So endocrine tincture can really have dramatic results to give you really fast, quick acting relief from these type of issues. But Estro Cleanse really rebalances the hormones. So we would recommend at least those 2 for short-term and long-term effects for hormonal issues. For men, again, they have similar issues hormonally, but there are issues testosterone. And prostate issues can be an issue there. Estrogen can also be an issue there as well, right? So men can start getting high estrogen. So that's why we included it there. So again, we can help you with any of these issues, but today our focus is on the whole body, okay? So that is where we are looking at. So if we go back to the website, okay, so we're back there. So the first thing that I just want to talk about is this one. If I can type today. No, I got it. Shoot. It's very specific. So we'll just type it in like this. So I just typed in frontier, and we see all the different things that come up as that. Okay. But this is what I wanted to discuss. Okay. So anytime you're interested in any formula, just type it in under search. It can be very case sensitive, but you go to the main thing here, and then you click on the professional tab, and then right underneath that, you'll see in light blue there, the PDF text sheet of it. Okay. So you can look up any formula. This is really simple, easy way to do that. Okay. But this first page is more about it. The second page is more the technical side of it. Okay. So this formula, we would recommend this if you are constipated. Before we start a cleanse, the number one question, especially a detox cleanse, that we want to always ask is, are you having at least one bowel movement a day, right? At least one. So we talked about that at the beginning a minute ago, as far as basic foundation. If you are struggling with that, okay, then this formula would be my number one to help, as far as to help calm and soothe the colon wall itself, and then also to help get the pipes moving, so to speak. Okay, so it works on a couple different ways. And I also recommend dosing a little bit differently than what the bottle is. So if you are having that issue, and by the way, the reason why we recommend this first, because if we're trying to detox, we're trying to pull those toxins from the body. But if you're not eliminating, then those toxins are just recirculating. And again, you could feel worse. So we want to make sure you're having at least one bowel movement a day for a week before we would recommend detoxing. Okay, so that's why I'm bringing this up first and foremost. So the way I recommend this is we start with 4 caps 1 hour after dinner. Okay, it's different than what the bottle says. Just from my clinical experience with this, working in hundreds of clinics throughout the country, this is where I get the best results. 4 caps 1 hour after dinner. Most people should have a bowel movement that night or by the next morning. If you do not, the next day we would bump it up to 5 caps. Okay. If you still don't, then we would recommend bumping it up to 6 caps. So 4, 5, or 6 usually does the trick. Okay. But whatever dose it takes to have that first bowel movement, we would stay at that dose until we finish the bottle. Okay. Now we don't need to wait until we finish the bottle before we start the detox formulas, but we just want at least a week's worth of everyday consistent bowel movements. Okay. So this would be one option. Another option would be mag citrate. But I like this one because of all the additional nutrients that this has in it. Okay. So does that make sense to everybody with me on that? Okay. So let's go back to the main thing here. All right. So we're going back to the heading here. All right. So I'm just typed in live complete, right? Just like we did with the other, we go to that, and then we go to the professional tab, and that takes us right to the text sheet. Okay. So this is the latest, greatest, newest in the world of detoxification in a capsule. Okay. So on the very front of the bottle, you can see where it says phase 4 cellular detoxification. So a lot of people don't know what this means. Even doctors I work with have no idea, because this is a brand new concept that we're trying to emphasize with people out there. So let's just talk a little brief history about detoxification. Okay. So the original concept with detox is we're trying to take that toxin. Where is that toxin stored? It's stored as a fat soluble, in a fat soluble compound in your tissue. Okay. In your tissue. So we're trying to pull it out of your body. So the initial process is we're using specific nutrients that pulls it from a fat soluble compound to what's called an intermediate compound. And that is known as phase 1 of detoxification. Okay. Then the next step is now we take it from an intermediate compound to a water soluble compound. And that is known as phase 2 of detoxification. Okay. So that's phase 1 and phase 2. That research goes back 50 years ago. Right. And that is our original Live Clear, does phase 1 and phase 2 of detoxification. Then about a decade ago, they started working on, once it is a water soluble, now we're trying to get even further elimination through your kidney and your bladder. And that is known as phase 3 of detoxification. That is our Live Clear 2 formula, works on that. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Now we're at this level. Now we're at phase 4. So this does everything else the other detox formulas did, but now we're working on 1, 2, 3, and 4 of detoxification, which is now supporting GI and colon. Okay. So it's going to be even better for those who like the other formulas. They should love this one. Okay. In a capsule formula, there's nobody else in the industry that is looking at phase 4 detoxification. This is really unique and new to the industry, and you can't say that very often. Okay. But that is what we mean by phase 4. Does everybody understand that now? Better? Okay. So if we look at what's in it, all right, so here is the supplemental facts. So on the left-hand side, a little description. On the right-hand side is the supplemental facts. So the main ingredients we're using here, vitacholine, which is a trademark form. It's right here on the bottom, a patented trademark form of choline, excellent for the liver as well as for the brain. Again, it's going to further enhance that detoxification pathway. We also added selenium. We also added chlorella, and by the way, we're using selenomethionine, trademark form as well. That the better form of selenium we're using chlorella in here, and chlorella helps with pulling the toxins from your blood. And we're using cracked cell chlorella, which is the best form there. We're using DMG, one of my favorite ingredients of all time. That is the beginning of the methylation process. And that will also help with detoxification and support cell detox. We're using the next Bacillus coagulin, which is a very unique form of probiotic. It's classified as a spore probiotic, so it's grown from the ground, and it also helps with digestion as well. So we're talking about that, supporting GI. And then we also are using this form of grape seed extract, research form, Activin. But the very unique thing, the most incredible thing about this formula that's different than all the others is this form of glutathione. It's pronounced emothion, emothion. So if we go back up here and go back under the supplemental facts, you can see it's actually S-acetyl-L form of glutathione. It's a crystallized form that has been shown to be the most absorbable glutathione in the world. Okay. Now, glutathione is your master antioxidant and it's your master detoxifier. In the supplement world, however, it's extremely difficult for your body to break down and absorb. Okay. And so we've always been hesitant to use glutathione previously in any of our formulas because it looks good on paper, but the reality is it's not working. Right. And we only want to put things in a formula that's going to work. So we've been waiting and waiting for this formula to come out, and now it's here, and this is really exciting. Okay, so it's going to help all those other ingredients that we've used previously. Now we add the glutathione to it, and now you're going to get even better results. Okay, does that make sense with everybody on this? With me? Okay, now dosage. Now it says 3 caps here, but this is where I want to go back to the handbook. Okay, this is why the importance of doing the questionnaire. So let's go back to that questionnaire for 1 second. Okay. All right. So we go to the answer key. All right. If you are very toxic, if you score over 50 on the front or over 10 on the back, then we would recommend 3 capsules a day of the Live Complete. Okay. If you're just doing the Live Complete by itself. So try to break that out. 1 breakfast, 1 lunch, 1 dinner. Right. Now you can always double up with it, but ideally would be 3 a day. Okay. That's if you score very high. If you fall in the middle range, right? So you're not as toxic, obviously, as the front, as the top there. Then the first bottle, we would recommend 2 breakfasts, 2 lunch, 2 dinner. All right, so 6 total. And then the next bottle, we would recommend 3 a day, 1 breakfast, 1 lunch, 1 dinner. All right, so it's really a 2-bottle program. If you fall in the bottom range, then again, this is you're going to be the healthiest person here in the bottom range. However, this is the part that confuses a lot of people with detox. You actually need more than people who are not that healthy. Okay. So the first bottle, if you fall in the middle ranges, we would recommend 3 breakfasts, 3 lunch, 3 dinner, 9 a day. The second bottle, 2, 2, and 2, 6 a day. And then the last bottle would be 3 a day, 1, 1, and 1. So this is the reason why people who tell me they're not toxic at all, they're very healthy. If they try to do a detox program, they're like, yeah, I didn't feel anything. I didn't notice anything because you weren't taking enough. So it's the exact opposite of what we normally recommend in the world of nutrition. If typically the unhealthier you are, we would do loading doses and be very aggressive. However, in the world of detox, it's exactly the opposite. And most people don't understand this, don't realize this. So this is another important reason why we want to do this test. Does that make sense for everybody? And again, that's just if you're using the capsules. If you're not doing anything else, then that's how we would look at this. Okay. But whatever dosage you're using, then we retest and then we compare the numbers. Make sense with me? Okay. So that is on the capsules. Okay. Now we're going to go back. Okay. Back to the website, back under search. All right. And now we're going to pull up the proline greens. Okay, so let's talk about this one. All right, so first of all, this is fruits and vegetables. Of course, we want you to eat your fruits and vegetables. Again, the latest stats is you need 8 to 10 servings a day. Most people are eating 1 to 3 a day. Okay, so most people are very nutrition deficient, as we know. So 1 scoop of any of the colors is equal to 5 servings of fruit and vegetables. So very simple and easy way to get fruit and vegetables into your normal system. However, this one specifically focuses on detoxing and cleansing. So let's take a look at what we're doing here with that. Okay. So we have that vitacholine in here, just like we did with the capsules to support the liver as well as the brain. Okay. We have your chlorella in there as well. Okay. So we go through that. We have some probiotics in here as well. We have the most absorbable form of folic acid called folate. We have that in here, in there. We keep going down the list here. You have your green healthy blend, a lot of greens that you typically, again, hard to get all year around. You have additional fiber with this. All of the colors have fiber. Okay. We have some N-acetylcysteine in here. We have DMG in here, right? We keep going down the list. milk thistle in here, aloe vera's in here, probiotics, right? And some enzymes in here as well. But if we go to right here, okay? So this proprietary detox blend, it has spirulina and chlorella. Again, both will help pull the toxins from the blood. DMG in there, NAC in there, but it has the natural form of that glutathione that we just talked about. The S-acetylglutathione is in the greens. So when we switched to the new label, we added that emulsion. Okay, it's the only greens on the market that I've seen that has this new form of glutathione. So you're going to get even greater benefit from detoxing than even in the previous formulas, the previous greens that we had because of that. We also have the natural form of vitamin C in there as well, acerola fruit. We switched over to that form as well. We also added some organic cassia bark, which is cinnamon. We added some organic cinnamon to this. So a lot of people like the taste of this one better than the previous greens as well. Not that the old one was bad, but again, we're always trying to improve. So if you go back to the questionnaire, okay, and if you combine the Live Complete with the greens together, all right, so now we would really look at doing 6 a day of the Live Complete if you're very toxic. So if you score in either one of these ranges, the first bottle, second bottle, we back it down to 3. And the greens, we would go 2 scoops initially and then back it down to 1 scoop. That's if you're doing the capsules, the Live Complete, and the greens together. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. So that's the greens. And we have free samples here in the back for you. If you've never tried it, please do as well. Okay. So let me go back. Oops. Go back to where we were. Okay. There's the questionnaire. So we're going to go back to the website. And then the final piece of the puzzle, as we like to say, is going to be the Power Cleanse. Okay. So the Power Cleanse is a meal replacement. Okay. Takes the place of a meal. We talked about that already. It's like the Super Shake on steroids. Okay. It's a rice, pea, and protein, rice, pea, and pumpkin. But pumpkin and pea are the main protein in there. So vegetarian source. Okay. You have your added fiber in there. Okay. You have quadrifolate in there. But the other unique thing too, a couple things. It has your vitamins. Okay. So this is like a multivitamin in the Power Cleanse. It also has minerals. And we're using the Track Albion form of minerals, the most absorbable minerals in there, including the iron, most absorbable iron in there as well. So the Power Cleanse is really like 5 supplements in one. It's a meal replacement like the Super Shake. It's a multivitamin like the Frontier Multi. It's like a mineral like our Frontier Minerals. It has fiber like our Frontier Fiber. And then it has your detox properties to it, okay, that are going to help pull those toxins from the body. And that's something the Super Shake doesn't have as well, okay? So 2 flavors now, pineapple coconut, which I strongly recommend. It tastes shockingly good, or the vanilla. And again, the vanilla, you can add all different types of flavors, okay? But the whole idea with this is if you take a scoop of the pineapple coconut and a scoop of the greens and you put it together with ice and water in a shaker bottle or a blender, it's, like I said, it is shockingly good. And I've sampled this to hundreds of different practices, as well as we have samples here. And 99% of the people are like pleasantly surprised how well this tastes for a detox formula. So that's the whole idea with this, folks. We're trying to keep it simple and easy. So we go back to the questionnaire. Now, if you did all 3, if you did the Live Complete, the greens, and the Power Cleanse all together, we're now just dropping the Live Complete to just 3 a day. Okay, 1 breakfast, 1 lunch, 1 dinner. The greens, we're doing 1 scoop a day. and the Power Cleanse, 1 scoop a day, right? So it's as simple as there's your breakfast with 1 Live Complete, and you're doing 1 Live Complete for lunch, 1 Live Complete for dinner, 30 days. There's your program. Follow the food program that comes with it, right? Avoid the bad foods, and then retest. And it's really that simple. That's the whole idea with this program. Okay, so we put it all together. Go back up to the top here. Okay, so we put it all together for you. So it's right here, now called the Clean and Lean Kit. Okay, the Clean and Lean Kit has it already packaged together, so you can get any of these individually, or we have them all in the box. Everything that we talked about right there. Power Cleanse, the greens, the Live Complete, booklet, shaker bottle, all together for you. Everything is discounted, 30% off this week, folks. If you're going to try this, this is a great week to try it. Okay. But I can't tell you how many people have gotten incredible results with this. Okay. It's going to help on so many levels, and it will jumpstart weight loss. Okay. It's our number 1 thing we recommend for weight loss, because as I said at the very beginning, where's toxin stored? In your fat tissue. So a lot of people struggle with weight, are actually very toxic, and they don't realize this. So they do this. We have people who've lost 5, 10, 15, 20 pounds in 30 days with this. Okay. On Saturday, I will continue down the weight loss process. 9 a.m. on Saturday, we'll focus on specific formulas for weight loss, depending on what type of issues you have. But we recommend this first, and you're going to get even greater results with this. Okay. So read the book. There's your homework assignment for everybody. First 2 chapters. Try this out, and then we can really help change your life. Okay. Any questions there, Phil? All good? All featured this week, folks. Give it a chance. Any questions in the audience? Makes sense to everybody, right? The difference between everything. All right. Thank you so much for everybody. If you haven't, I'll be here all week answering questions, helping everybody. So anything you want to talk to me, I'll be here. Thank you so much. God bless. As Joe says, live long and prosper. I can't do it.